Hey, Super Cruisers! It's Frank and Kevin from Cruising with Wheels.
If you're watching us, chances are you're thinking about booking a cruise, and we have your decision-making checklist.
Now, we get this question all the time.
Mm-hmm.
How do I make a decision? What to do, what to do, what to do.
Well, we can't tell you how you're going to make that decision, but we came up with a list of things that would be helpful in making that decision. So let's start out right with the first one. And there's no particular order as to these decision-making tools we've came up with. But for lack of a better thing, number one is ports of call.
Right. Where do you want to go?
Right. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? So you need to ask yourself, do you want to go to a hot climate?
Right.
Or do you want to go to a cold climate?
Right.
Right?
Where? You want to go to Alaska? You want to go to the Caribbean? I mean, you want to go to Europe?
Or Asia.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, were you watching a channel and there was a particular port of interest and you said, oh my God, I got to go there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? Make a list of favorites, things that you want to do, and then
Research those ports.
Absolutely.
And then you can start, right? That's your jumping off point. The second thing that we thought of that we do is what time of year do you want to sail?
Right. Because if you've decided, I do want to go to Alaska or I do want to go down to the Caribbean, you got to research what is the best time of year to sail.
To sail in that particular area.
Right.
But you also might be budget conscious. So maybe you want to go the best time where it will be cheaper.
Little bit off season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you don't want that, you know, in season Caribbean 90-degree weather. You're like, you know what? I'm happy with 70 degrees.
Yeah, like in our example would be we went to Alaska the first cruise out in June. It was less expensive. It wasn't optimal season. However, we had a fabulous time and we saved a load of money.
Right. It was 45, 50 degrees, which was okay for us. So yeah, you got to wait. And then of course, I know you all have to figure out when can I get off from work.
Right.
So that's the other thing I know you got to factor in.
Now, the next thing that we think that you should consider and think about when trying to figure out what you're going to cruise, when you're going to cruise, is the size of the ship.
Right.
That'll determine what type of amenities.
Right. Activities, different types of
restaurants,
and quantities of restaurants and bars, because the smaller ships, the ships that have like around 2,500 people on board, or medium-sized ships, about 3,500. Then you got the big mega ships, 5,000 to 6,000. You know, there's going to be a difference between the small ship and the mega ship.
The bigger the ship, the more activities you'll have to do on board, such as water slides, amusement park type things. And the smaller the ship, the quieter it'll be.
Yeah, more intimate. Right.
Intimate.
Stop, it's not a cookie. And you'll get to see, like we did in the smaller ships, the crew and a lot of the passengers more often. Less people, more of a connection. Yeah.
Now, the fourth thing that we think you should consider is food and restaurants on board. I know this sounds kind of stupid to some people. Some people would say, why? What's the big deal? But when you start doing your research, you'll find that, like we said in our last point, that a smaller ship might not have as many restaurants.
Right.
And not as many selection to choose from. So you want to research the different cruise lines for different types of restaurants on board.
Right. Especially if you're a foodie. And if you're a foodie, you might be looking at different cruise lines that have maybe a better quality of food. But, you know, Italian food, Asian food, French, all the different types of restaurants, Brazilian steakhouses, American steakhouses, I mean, there's just a variety. I know everybody's got the buffet, but you have the complimentary free dining rooms and buffets, but then you have the specialty restaurants where you have to pay for that.
Now, I always look at how many complimentary there are versus how many specialty. So in other words, we like to eat in a different place every single night. So let's say there's only 2 complimentary restaurants and then there's 8 specialties. We would tend not to choose that cruise because we don't want to have to pay
more money
to try the different restaurants.
And another factor
Just
would be
something to think about.
Yeah, would be for us is the length of the cruise involved.
So another thing that you could consider is refreshments.
Refreshments is an imbibing, like bars, liquors, and certain.
Some people pick specifically what type of soda they're serving, whether they're a Pepsi drinker or a Coke drinker. I think it's insane.
But certain cruise lines only carry Coke products, and other cruise lines only Pepsi products. And so if you're in those absolute tribal camps of soda, that is something you need to check out. But again, there are free drinks available, let's say in the buffet, where you can obviously get water, coffee, tea,
lemonade,
pink lemonade, cranberry juice.
Not all of them
Not
have
all
that,
of them, but there's always some variety
Right.
that you'll be able to, get. And then, of course, you can always, let's say, buy a water package, like we have, where they'll deliver to your stateroom a 12 pack of water, and you'll use it for the cruise. So liquor, water, juices, soda. Some people, that's a big deal.
Next on our list is ship entertainment. This is huge for me.
Yeah.
Because we don't go out locally. I really look forward to the entertainment on the ship. So I always research what theater shows that they're going to be having. But that is my end of that, But there's a huge list of entertainment options that you need to decide what's most important for you. So they have the theater shows, but they also have sports activities.
Oh, absolutely. So if you're an active person, as opposed to, let's say, more sedentary, I want to sit down and watch a comedy show, a theater show. I want to go to a photography class. Or you're active and you're like, oh my God, I heard this mega ship has a Ferris wheel, a roller coaster, go-karts, laser tag, ropes course. I can play basketball. It depends on, you have to determine who you are. And again, that's, on the checklist of making your decision.
Next on our list is cruise ship amenities.
Yeah, we're going to go back to the amenities. And as Kevin said before, based on the size of the ship. But again...
But is it important for you that the ship has a spa?
Right.
Are you looking for a luxury cabin like the Garden Villa?
Right.
Or a Haven?
Right.
Are you a casino goer?
Right.
Some of the casinos are very small. Some of the ships have huge casinos.
Absolutely.
2, 3 decks of casinos.
What type of fitness center do they have? Because you may be one of those people, I am up at 6 a.m., I am in the fitness center, I am working out for an hour or so, boom, 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 boom. And so that could be a big deal.
That's something to consider.
Yeah. Another big deal we've also heard about, and size of the pool. Some of these ships, Some of these ships, you would think that the mega ships have the big pool.
That you could get your toe in.
Right. And you're like, wait a minute, that's a giant mega ship with 6,000 people. That's the size of that pool could fit 2.
The next on our list is, what do you want to experience from this cruise vacation?
Right.
We are all about experience, right? Are you somebody that wants to go on excursions? Are you somebody that just wants to walk around port?
Right.
Are you, this isn't on your list in front of us, but I'm thinking of, can you go into port?
Right.
Are you wheelchair bound? And if so, if it's a tender port, can you tender on that boat?
Right.
Are you interested in seeing cultural tours? Do you want to take train rides? Are you into water activities?
Oh, right, snorkeling and swimming and all sorts of things. So
Only you can answer
only
these
you can know.
questions.
Yeah, I'm a kind of a walkabout, history, cultural, historic kind of person. I would love to roll around town, be on a tour, hope that it's accessible, or maybe I'm just a bus tour kind of person, or I'm going to dive off a cliff, hike into the forest. Your checklist. Who are you?
The next thing is very, very important to almost every cruiser that I've ever talked to, and that is what type of cabin do you want to sail in? Are you a basic person, or do you need something a little bit more?
Right.
Do you want to be in an inside, an ocean view, a balcony, a mini suite, a full-on suite? Are you a regular cruiser cruising in a regular cabin, or are you a handy capable cruiser that needs an accessible cabin?
Right.
Do you need a full turn access cabin, or do you just need a mobility modified cabin?
Right.
That's what I call.
Right.
Right.
Which
So every
typically,
cruise line has a
yeah,
different
typically
term.
a modified handicap accessible cabin. It'll just be pretty much the bathroom with a roll-in shower.
It'll have a regular
Yeah.
opening for the door,
Yeah.
which you will not be able to fit a wheelchair
Right.
through when it's open, and you will not be able to traverse.
Right.
That was always a famous word with us, and we kind of got away from
Yeah.
that. You won't be able to traverse the cabin
Right.
in your wheelchair.
So a walker, a cane, maybe the modified cabin with the
Works.
modified bathroom works for you. Wheelchairs and scooters, you need the full turn access to be able to get through the wider door of the cabin and be able to move around the cabin.
And finally, what we find is the biggest decision-making part of should I take this cruise is, can I afford it?
Right.
You need to know the amount of money that you want to spend on this vacation. Check that wallet.
Check your wallet. Check your bank account.
Will it be a 3-day, a 5-day, a 7-day, an 11-day?
Right.
Are you going to need a hotel
Right.
first?
You're going to have to fly in a day ahead of time.
Are you going to go on any excursions?
Extra money.
Have you budgeted for souvenirs?
Extra money.
Are you buying the drinks package?
Extra money.
Or does it come included?
Right. But again, if it does come included, you're going to have to pay the taxes on
and
it.
fees and gratuities.
So when you get the free dining package and the drinks package, remember, that part is free, but the taxes on all that, you have to pay extra on.
So these are all things that you need to consider when trying to find the perfect cruise for yourself.
We hope that you've enjoyed our 10-point decision-making checklist in selecting a cruise.
And we want to thank you for joining us for another fabulous video. We enjoyed producing this for you, and we hope that you liked it so much that if you're not already a subscriber, you consider clicking that subscribe button and becoming part of the Cruising with Wheels family.
It's free.
Don't be a ding-a-ling. You better hit that bell, because that'll get you regular notifications of when our videos go live. Remember,
To always travel safe.
and cruise often.